Hello everyone, how are we? How's your week going? It's nearly the end. It's Thursday. We're nearly there. How's it going, Selby? Thanks for being. You were straight in here. Like I barely had time to go live, and you were in. So thanks for joining me. Hope you're well. Thanks for getting involved over on the Discord and making yourself at home there. By the way, guys, if anyone's new here and doesn't know that, we have a very quickly growing Discord server. Links there in the chat. So basically, we can only spend so many hours online on this channel in a week, but we carry on the conversation over there and talk about the stream, talk about ideas for the channel. Lots of conversation around what we can do with the channel and just nerding out over games as well. Lots of off-topic stuff. So hi Snuffle, thanks for coming back. Really appreciate it. Yeah, it's good to check out your stream the other day. Hope that's going well for you. And and no worries. Like I said to all you guys before, even if you can just lurk away or leave something running in the background, we've all got lives to live. So I really appreciate, especially you regular guys who keep coming back night after night. I really appreciate it. So thanks for popping on. So yeah, cheers. And also if you want to see scary giant moth pictures, that's also in the Discord server. So we're just pointing out. So so what we're going to do tonight, guys, a little bit different. So obviously Tuesday nights is the chronic illness social, where it's kind of all sorts of things chronic illness while we play Ifba Island and talk about psoriatic disease and all about that project to raise awareness of psoriatic disease. Normally most weeks I can squeeze in a bonus stream either on a Wednesday night or a Thursday night. This week it's Thursday night. So I'm sort of labelling this one as the Chronic Pain Club. Anyone who's not familiar with what that's about, I'll put the link there in chat. We run a couple of support groups over on Facebook. One of them's a private group where we go into things, with a bit more safety and moderation and everything. And the other one, the Chronic Pain Club, is an open sort of group around sort of chronic pain and conditions that cause pain, but you can expect a lot more memes and off-topic chat and everything in that, because it is a public group, so bear that in mind. But yeah, so that's doing really well over there. It's growing really quickly, and it's sort of a thing that's kind of caught on, and we do sort of t-shirts for it and everything else. Again, if anyone wants to check that out, the link to the pain company is there. But yeah, so I thought, what can we have? We've got the Chronic Illness Social on Tuesday. That's really well established. No worries, Snuffle. Cheers. Happy birthday. You kept that one quiet. Enjoy yourself, and hopefully you can still remember it in the morning. Have a good one. So basically, I thought we kind of need a name for the other one. So this one's going to be the Chronic Pain Club. And if anyone's got access to the emotes, use them in the chat to wish Snuffle a happy birthday. I don't really know what we've got emotes wise that's relevant, but we'll put some loves there. Look, there we go. So yeah, that's where the Chronic Pain Club thing comes from. So we'll still be doing a bit of Animal Crossing on here, but also facilitating any conversations. So a bit like we did on Tuesday. It was kind of the coming of the age for the stream. Like, we kind of saw it coming on the Word Day, which anyone that was with us for the 8-hour Word Day event, the fact that our viewing figures were going up when we were doing the patient experience interviews and going down when we were playing the computer games was mad. Like, that was the first time for me it kind of confirmed that this idea I had in my head of creating a space which could reach a new audience around arthritis and chronic illness awareness and support. Because let's be honest, there's a million options on Facebook, and there's a million options on podcasts, and there's lots of stuff on social media. But the idea of coming over to Twitch was to try and reach people that were maybe marginalised, so younger people or people that are more likely to not reach out for help, and that sort of thing. So I think the Word Day was the start of that, where we thought, oh, okay, we might be onto something here. We got lots of new people getting on board and getting involved in chat. And if you are first time here, hello. Great to see you. Please do say hello in chat. A really friendly bunch. And if anything else, if you just want to lurk, that's fine. That also supports the channel. But if you just hit that follow button so that you get notifications when we go live, because we are here on Tuesday nights and Sunday nights. But we do, as we are tonight, do some random ones during the week as and when I can fit them in around my other work. So by hitting the follow button and having the notifications on, you get alerted to as and when that is, because I can't always get it out on social media. And that is kind of the point of the Discord server, because as we talked about on this stream before, I think in all the different places I do my advocacy work, there's different demographics, and often when I post about Twitch, for example, on Facebook, it is literally over everyone's head. It doesn't really. A lot of people don't know what it is. They think I've misspelt Twitter. So by having a Discord server, we can talk all things Twitch and everything else. So yeah, get yourself in there as well. And sorry, I will stop spamming links to the chat, but I can see we've got a lot of new people tonight that maybe might have not been in here before. And speaking of new people, a massive thank you to a couple of new followers. We've got Firefly76 and Geordie Catchu. I hope I've pronounced that right. If not, I'll just go with Geordie. I don't know if you're on stream or not, but thank you for following. It helps the channel massively. It tells Twitch that we're doing something cool here. And yeah, it just gives us more of a chance of reaching those people that are maybe on Twitch because they watch computer games or just chatting shows and have no idea that there's this guy talking about arthritis and chronic illness and stuff that actually applies to them. So anything you can do in terms of follow, chat, share us on your socials helps massively. I think that's enough introductions for now. What we'll do, like I say, there's going to be a lot of talking tonight, but we will jump into Animal Crossing just so we've got something going on in the background. I'll just turn the volume down a little bit on that. So I always have to turn the volume up for the intro music and then turn the game volume down. If not, you'll get deafened by the shiny happiness of Animal Crossing. So anybody who is new here, and like I say, we have got a few new people here, so you're welcome. Thank you for joining us. If you've got any questions, please ask. IFPA Ireland is a project that I'm doing with IFPA, which is the International Federation of Psoriasis Associations. They're kind of like a global body that helps advocate for psoriatic disease and support psoriatic associations all around the world. So here in the UK, we've got ones like the Psoriasis Association, etc. They sit above that as like a global body to try and advocate and raise awareness. I'm an IFPA ambassador, and they had this amazing idea of a project which just happened to align at exactly the same time I was starting a channel with the same idea of let's try and reach new people. Twitch seems like a good platform for that because no one else is really doing it. And at the very same time I was launching my channel, they came up with this project of creating an island that basically raises awareness of psoriatic disease. So we don't hammer the point too hard, and because the island is still in development, but the idea is once it's finished, we'll be running it throughout this entire year with lots of events involving other streamers and everything else. The idea is once we get that all built up, anyone that comes to visit the island will get that message, so we're looking at having educational areas, but ultimately it's to build a community around, which you guys are doing brilliantly. So thank us. If you're new here, you've already seen some of the regulars. If you come on a Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, you'll see the full gang. But essentially, yeah, what we're doing here is building a community around the island. That's the starting point. But the important bit is the community and the conversation that we're creating around it. I'm going to let Isabel talk for a little bit now, just to rest my voice. Oh, so we have a new calf. That's brand new. I think Renoa might have given us a spoiler on that on the last stream. Oh, so you have, mate. Yeah, I can just see that on my preview now. Hang on. What's going on there? It might be the capture card. 2 seconds. Let me flick. Yeah, so you have. What I'll do, guys, let me just restart that. It was playing up earlier. So I've got an external capture card. Let me put it on. I'll put it on primary while we're fixing that. I've got an external capture card, and I don't know if it's because it overheats because it's sitting at the back of the PC and takes the full hit. I might have to bite the bullet and buy an internal one because this isn't the first time it's done this. It worked fine when I tested it. Of course it did. Let me hang on a minute. I'll try and do this so we don't have to restart the stream. But cheers for the heads up, Selby, because I didn't even look at my preview screen. I had a preview screen, I weren't even looking at it, so that's my fault. I've got 3 monitors in front of me. Let's see if that comes through. Right, okay, what we will do, I'm going to have to re-add the capture card, I think. 2 seconds, guys. because I think it's the streaming software. Everything's working fine my end. So yeah, that'd be nice. If anyone wants to come on, by the way, and talk, then by all means you can. That's something we do. We record podcasts on here, and everything else. If this doesn't want to play ball, then we'll just do a chat and stream. That's not an issue. So yeah, basically, long story short, you can get external capture cards and you can get internal capture cards. I went for an external one. It was cheaper. But yeah, it seems to have this issue where sometimes I'll fire my PC up, and if you start the software too early, it won't bring the image through. So I had that, and I disconnect it and kill a few tasks and everything else. And in all my testing, it was fine. And of course, when you go live, the source doesn't work. Let's see. Let's see if I can bring it in. 2 seconds. The amps in the background, I've got several, and I don't need them all, but no, it's like you collect stuff. So basically, I've got an old Marshall JCM, which I've had for ages. Valve amp. It misbehaves occasionally, but as all Valve amps do, but it sounds awesome when you turn them up. Right, I'm just gonna, in order to try and fix this, I need to switch to the screen, so bear with me. Let me remove that. I'll re-add it. Capture cards are the bane of my life for streaming. Can I just say? Yeah, that's not going to work. Fine, that's not an issue. We'll just do it, just chat and stream. So yeah, basically, let me kill this piece of rubbish. I'm trying not to swear because it's a family show, this one. So yeah, basically, I've got a Valve amp, JCM 900. I've got a little orange amp, which is awesome. The one you can see at the, am I pointing the right way? Yeah, the very top. That is, it's basically, it takes like a load of batteries. So it's like a busker's amp almost. So you can plug a mic into it. You can plug guitar into it. The one down the, I've got to get this right because I might be in reverse. The one down the bottom here, that's a big 4x4 bass cab. What I'm going to do, guys, I'm just going to change the get rid of Animal Crossing in the description, and we'll move to just chat and stream since the capture card has died. That's not an issue. We can do that. Done. Cool. So then anyone coming along looking for Animal Crossing aren't going to get confused while we're chatting away. And then there's another one sort of right behind my shoulder there, which is a Ashdown Combi bass amp. So long story short, I used to play bass in a band, toured the country and all this sort of thing. Lots of fun. And then arthritis took over, and here we are. so I guess it's kind of one of the things where I'm quite comfortable doing like things like the podcast and the stream and everything else, because yeah, I've used to perform in a very different way, and it feels really weird to do it on your own, because part of the thing of being in a band is you're kind of a group of people who have got each other's back, so that can be a little bit daunting when you go out on your own. But I did a couple of solo gigs before my fingers really went. But yeah, that's kind of the issue you get with arthritis. It's unpredictable. You know, I was doing all that in my 20s, and then you get to your 30s and everything starts to go wrong. But yeah, I'd love to play a song, but unfortunately, Selby, my son is being put to bed next door, and I don't think I'd be very popular with the other half. As a not modern house as well, so the soundproofing isn't ideal, to say the least. So yeah, so anyone who's joined us, I was going to have Animal Crossing run on the background, but the capture card has seemingly died, which is odd because I can see it on my screen, so it's clearly capturing it from the Switch. But I think it's the streaming software. But the only way to fix the streaming software bug is to end the stream and come back in, and that's going to do more harm than good, most likely. So I will we'll carry on as a just chat and stream. So if anyone's got any questions or anything they want to go through or talk about or share or discuss, that's kind of what we're here for. If not, I will continue to ramble. I'm good at that. But like I said before, if you're just joining us, the reason behind the title Chronic Pain Club is that we have a Facebook group, and there's a link there in the chat. So we have two Facebook groups. One is a private one where you can ask a lot more personal questions without worrying that your friends are going to see it. Because just remember that when you participate in Facebook groups, that if you comment and they're public groups, people you're friends with on Facebook will most likely be shown that. And the other one, the Chronic Pain Club, is a public group, and yeah, there's that's a very quickly growing community. So I thought, why not link it up with what we're doing here on Twitch? I'm just going to check. Yeah, I don't think, basically, from looking what I can see on the background here, unless I kill the stream and go back in, I don't think Animal Crossing is going to work. But by the time I do that, 10 minutes is going to pass. You guys are all going to get bored and disappear, and then we're probably lost the moment a little bit on that. So I will try one more time. What the hell? Just because I'm stubborn. Yeah, if you're thinking about getting into streaming, guys, don't get an external capture card. That would be my advice, because it's caused me more trouble than it's worth. Especially when I can see it on screen, absolutely fine. I can see the footage on screen. That's not an issue. But it's not coming through. I could try Elden Ring. By the way, holy Malakath, didn't know you were here. I just sort of went into autopilot then. But that also relies on the same capture card. Unfortunately, I will try and fix it in the background. So yeah, essentially, it's long story short, but when I fire my PC up, if I don't load up the Elgato capture card software first before I do anything else, it fails. And it blipped, and normally I'd restart my PC and start again, and I thought, that's stupid, I shouldn't have to keep restarting my machine at the start of every stream. I didn't restart it. I could see it all on screen. It was working fine in my scene before I went live, and then I went live and you guys got a black screen. So the lesson there is I should have just restarted the flaming thing. I will try and I just don't want to end the stream, because if you end the stream, Twitch is just not going to show me to anyone. So I'll try and fix it on the fly, but I do fear that it would require me restarting my machine, which probably isn't worth it. So I'm really sorry, Malakath, because I know you're extremely busy tonight, and you've come here and you've got a Just Chatting stream instead. Let me try killing the processors. So, tonight's stream is a live troubleshooting session for streamers. Let's end that. Oh, sorry to hear that, Malakath. You got good reason to be tired, though. You've been busy, having fun, or the reason's depressing, as is often the case why I'm tired. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, and new glasses. The amount of times I've had headaches and I've remembered I haven't changed my glasses in ages, or had my eyes checked for a while. So yeah, this capture card's well and truly dead on me, so that's fine. I'm not restarting the machine. That seems silly, and it seems detrimental to the stream as well. So we'll carry on. But I've changed the thing to Just Chatting, so yeah, hopefully people are interested in coming by and having a chat. So working from home somehow makes my eyes even more. Well, I'll tell you what that is, Malakath, because I have the same issue. I quickly realised that when I was in the office, I would go make a cup of coffee, and I'd get sidetracked. Someone would bump into me, or ask me how I am, and blah blah blah, and then you would realise you got quite a bit of time away from the screen. Working from home, I never leave my desk, and I had through 2020 I had so many headaches working from home, and I realised that's because I wasn't getting. So my office door used to be like a revolving door, so you're constantly turning away from your screen and looking out, talking to people, and now everything is eyes on the screen. I never leave it. So I don't know if that's the same thing that you have. Sorry to hear you have a 6-day working week, Selby. That sucks. should I? I'm going to try, just because, you know, since the capture card's broken, what else have I got to lose? Should I try putting some I have to be really terrible royalty free music low in the background. But I'm pretty sure there's a list on Spotify that I can do without getting a hit by ban. I'm pretty sure there. I don't want to click a random one and then I end up getting conned by somebody, but I'm pretty sure there is a Twitch royalty free. See, I don't trust these handmade playlists. Oh, hi, Chunky Pup. Sorry, I'm all off kilter tonight because the capture card died as soon as we switched to the Switch. So this is now a just chatting stream. I don't know how to do time conversion, so I thought you won't give me up. Sorry, yeah, I'd make this mistake as well because technically we're at GMT +1 now, and I had a similar panic yesterday for a meeting where at the very last minute I thought I was an hour out and I wasn't. And yeah, Selby, that 6-day work week is rough. And I think, Chunky Pup, you've got some credit in the bank considering you gifted subs last time and subbed and everything else. Whilst I'm trying to anyone know where I can get some safe DCMA free? I'm looking on Spotify to play some music in the background that isn't going to get me banned, but I don't trust these playlists that have been created by other people, because you know that there's some evil person out there who's going to create a playlist intentionally that gets you a strike. So unless I see something that's made by Twitch, I ain't touching it. Right. So how's everyone else's week been, guys? We got any plans for the weekend? Yeah, I'll trust Streamlabs, even though I'm pretty sure it's my Streamlabs software at the minute that screwed me, but I'll have a look. Pretzel music player, there we go. Don't get DMCA, that's all I want to see. Install. We're doing like live streaming admin. So hang on, we've got Snuffle's birthday today and Selby's birthday next Tuesday. I'm going to have to start recording all these in Discord so I can remember to say happy birthday to people. I think Snuffles had to leave us but for birthday celebrations, but that was their birthday tonight. Oh, you have to show off your new glasses, Chunky Pup. So I'm doing this on the fly for pretzels. So it's premium or free. Of course, there's a premium version. We'll go with free for now. I'm going to be picking like absolutely random music here. So it might take us a little while to find something decent to have in the background. But I promised you guys I'd always be real on this channel, and this is as real as it can get. Yeah, Snuffle's birthday's today, so if you're in the Discord server, drop them a message. They would I'm sure they'd appreciate it. For anyone who's not familiar, the link to Discord is there. Sacred, thank you ever so much for your Prime subscription, really appreciate it, mate, and I appreciate you're always lurking around in here, so thank you, means a great deal. For anyone who's not familiar with that, no, you don't have to apologise, Sacred. My capture card crashed, so we're doing a just chatting stream now anyway, so it's not like a high octane stream that you might have missed. And Malakat's disappointed because I think they saw an opportunity for me to do an Elden Ring stream, but that also relies on the same tech. So we're doing just chatting. I'm trying to quickly fumble about in the background and get some royalty-free music playing in the background just to break the silence a little bit. But thank you ever so much for the sub. And for anyone who doesn't know about the whole Prime, Amazon owned Twitch, etc., you can subscribe to a streamer of your choice once a month, and the instruction for how to do that is there in chat. So and obviously by picking me, Sacred, you support the channel, so thank you ever so much. Really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you for all you guys that just keep coming back at the minute. It just blows my mind. This is the second stream this week, and we've got such a core of regulars now, and stuff going on the Discord server. Yeah, it really means a lot. Right. I'm going to try not to blast your ears off here when I can't promise anything, but just so we've got something playing on in the background. I can't promise it's going to be that cool either because it's royalty free. Like, I have a fairly decent taste in music, I like to think, but I can't promise what's going to be on royalty free. Let's see what this comes out like. That's probably a bit loud. Okay, now we sound like we're in a pool club. Is that coming through for anyone, or is that too loud? I think it's probably about the right level now, just for subtle background. Yeah. It'd literally be wall-to-wall Biffy Clyro music on here. Let me turn it up a little bit. I was worried about deafening you, Selby. So, I turned it down. Hey, Amy. How's it going? We're just chatting stream now tonight because my capture card has died. So, thanks for popping in and saying hi. You hear nothing? I'll keep turning it up, but I'm worried I'm going to deafen everyone. Yeah, best of luck with studying, Amy. I know that sucks. Especially when it's a subject you're passionate about. Can you hear it now, guys? Yeah? Cool. I'm slightly worried I sound like I'm in a jazz club now. I'm going to try and find a better selection of music. But, it's entertainment. I need to turn it down in my cans, though, because I'm deafening myself, even if I'm not deafening you. I need to see if I can have this music player as a... There we go. That's cool. I've answered my own question. Don't worry. Let's have a play around. Yeah, it's royalty free, let's be honest. Oh, there is a rock section, but I'm not holding my breath. I'm not holding my breath. Because let's be honest, if they've got royalty free music, that already tells me they haven't signed a major record label deal. Thanks for dropping into chat and straight away posting a... Oh no, that's Pretzel Rocks. I was about to ban my own music service. Sorry guys. Like I say, not used this before. This music ain't gonna work for me in the background. That was terrible, wasn't it? So I haven't Sacred because I wasn't expecting to have to play music tonight to fill the I can't believe I nearly banned my own Pretzel Rocks thing in chat. I saw that come up. I thought that was someone who'd randomly dropped by and started posting links straight away, and I was about to kick them out. That it's all happening tonight. So yeah, basically, I know that Twitch do their own app, don't they? I will look for that as well in the meantime. But I just want to get something on in the background because for anyone swinging by for now, it's I have relabeled it as a just chat and stream. And that's cool because I was going to be doing more talking than on-screen gaming anyway. I wasn't expecting to need music in the background. But I'm pretty sure they do have their own service for it. I'll have a little dig around. The only trouble is when I'm digging around, I'm not looking at chat, so I don't want to neglect you guys. So, Selby, the issue for the mobile authentication is to stop the spamming. So, you only have to do that once on Twitch. So, if you did it for another streamer, you wouldn't have to do it again. But essentially, if somebody new joins Twitch and goes to chat, the first time they do it, if they want to do it in this channel, not every channel has that rule in place, they have to do the mobile authentication because otherwise, we're talking about sensitive stuff on this channel. We're talking about disability and invisible illness and people in pain and people who might be struggling mentally. So basically we have that in place just to stop people coming along and offending in chat, essentially. Sacred managed to find a way to avoid it. Brilliant. And it still let you chat Sacred. But yeah, that's the idea. So initially I had it off, and when I done my first couple of test streams, like admittedly there was no one here, I was doing it before Christmas on my own, and I wasn't advertising it because I wanted to learn the tech and everything. There was lots of spam stuff that just kept appearing, so it was one way of trying to put them off, basically. Long story short. This music feels a little bit better. Like, I'm just here for the beard. Well, summer's approaching, so it will get thinned down a little bit, just to warn you. Normally around this time, it does have a bit of a trim. So, yeah, I can't promise you it'll stay in its full glory like this. Alright, let me sort my screens out. Shaving stream. Is that like the male equivalent of hot tub streams? It's basically a guy sitting there shaving. That does feel very much like the male equivalent of hot tub streams. Like, if Twitch ever sends me down the path where I start selling my own bath water or something, then I've completely lost my purpose. But again, guys, I know I keep banging on about it, but thank you for all the subs, and thank you for keep turning up, because you take tonight, you only have to go back 2 months ago, and if the capture card would have failed, that would have been it. Stream over. But now we can easily sustain a Just Chat and stream because we've got an active chat. When I tried doing my early podcast, I had a couple of guests on. That was a little bit awkward because there were no questions coming in, and obviously I was doing a podcast anyway. The questions would have only been at the end, but it helps massively to have that interaction, and it also means when people swing by, just passing by, they're more likely to hang around and follow if they see things being active than if it's just me talking to myself. What have we got here? Thank you, Sacred, for the hydrate. Much appreciated. Remember, guys, we have got a community pain points challenge on at the minute. You can chuck up to 2,000 pain points a day at the top. If you hit your pain points little circle, then you'll see that, and that's towards this dedicated Ifbra Island stream. Hi, Reno, welcome back. I hope you're well. I don't know, Malakaf, do you think a male hot tub stream would work? I haven't seen many, but they certainly wouldn't work with my dad bod, I'm pretty sure. And nobody is buying my bathwater on stream, Chunky Pup. Well, maybe you by the sounds of it, but nobody else. But yeah, thank you for the contributions to the charity stream, guys. It just helps make things a little bit interesting. So yeah, basically, if you just joined us, like Renoa, we're having a slight issue with the capture card. It worked fine when we launched and when I tested, and then when I went live and switched to the Switch, everyone had a black screen. So instead of that, we are doing just chatting, which, to be honest, the chatting was the main element of this stream anyway. After what happened on Tuesday, I finally felt confident enough that we could sustain a stream just by chatting about, you know, the general topics that we cover here. So I've done a quick bit of scrambling with the help of Chunky Pup and others. I've got some music playing in the background, and if anyone joins now, they'll never know the drama that went on in the first 10-15 minutes. So Amy, you have a question. Bit related to my essay, can't just do work. Yeah, any way you can justify being on this stream and doing your essay is fine by me. Do I have any fatigue management strategies, and have you had much input from health professionals? So I'm going to answer this backwards. I've had zero input from professionals on fatigue. It's almost like it doesn't exist, and it infuriates me because everything I've learned about fatigue management, I've kind of done it with myself or with the help of the amazing people at my local pain management clinic. So I've had arthritis since I was a child, as you have. I don't know about you, Amy, but fatigue they might have mentioned it in terms of, oh, what's your pain, where does it hurt, are you tired? But nobody gave me any education, advice, guidance, or what to do in terms of fatigue. I can carry on, Amy, don't worry. I hope you're taking notes. If not, this will be on a VOD on the channel after the recording if you are. What's the time now? Make a note of the time or clip it, and then you can come back to it. So yeah, basically through my entire life journey with arthritis, not a single medical professional in a specialist department. What I would say is I've had GPs who have been really good about it. But what when it comes to fatigue management from rheumatology or physio or neurology and all the other sort of specialist areas I've worked with, they have never mentioned fatigue ever, apart from maybe in passing to judge how much I'm struggling. So yeah, you just Google reference Twitch in the same way you would a YouTube video. That's what I would do. I use a really handy app, a Chrome browser sort of plugin called MyBib, MIBIB, which is like a free citation generator thing, and that's really helpful. If you don't know whether you reference it one way or the other, I used to use that when I was doing all my home study. But yeah, so a lot of what I've learned is basically about that. Hello to the first time chatter. Love your haircut. I can't tell where that's going, but thank you for getting involved. Yeah, what's the question if people would know worth a shot? Does anyone know if can lead to arthritis or anything like that? I don't know about sort of comorbidities and things like that outside of sort of my experience. I try not to, like I say numerous times, I'm not a medical professional. I know a lot about the links between psoriatic disease and cardiovascular disease and that sort of thing, but I don't know about either growth or development stuff, because I had arthritis at 10 and it didn't affect my development, but I'm sure it has others, or vice versa. I know Amy had it a lot younger than me, and obviously I'm not putting you on the spot, so you don't have to comment at all, Amy. But I don't know if that's caused anyone else in chat and sort of similar experience. But yeah, but I can look for you though, and if you, I can try and signpost you, especially because I know you in real life as well. Drop me a WhatsApp. And yeah, I'll see if I can get some answers for you, mate, because I've certainly got people who would be able to answer it in far better position than me. So arthritis is certainly genetic. So my story, I can't comment on everyone's. Hereditary, I suppose, is probably the right word. It's not like a genetic disease, but it's hereditary. So my story is basically on my dad's side, my granddad had colitis, which is inflammation, stomach and things like that, and on my mum's side, my nan had arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. So when you put the two together, it skipped a generation. I was the eldest of 4, and I got all the autoimmune stuff. And where it's really like harsh, which isn't probably talked about enough, and I've had this social media post in my head for ages, but it's going to take a lot of work, so I haven't done it yet, and I'm not going to give the full details because you would not believe how many times my ideas get stolen on Instagram. Like sometimes they actually use my picture and change the author and the message, which is horrendous. So basically, my sister has endo, inflammation, reproductive organs and things like that. My other sister has an inflammatory sort of stomach thing. So it literally is, it runs rife in that generation, but it didn't affect my parents at all. So, and plus, Amy's the one studying this, so they're going to know far more than me. I can only talk about my personal experience. But you do tend to see a lot of crossovers in family between I'm not going to pronounce that right. I'm going to say endo, so I don't butcher it. And colitis, Crohn's disease, arthritis, all them sort of auto-inflammatory sort of things. There is a lot of crossover and regular sort of occurrence within families. Pain management, yeah. So basically, the idea of pain management and where it helped me. So what we do here in the UK, and half of the people in the UK don't know it's a thing. So I don't know what happens elsewhere. Because again, it's like fatigue management. It's just not talked about. We have massively oversubscribed pain management service in this country, and but how that works. Cheers, Sacred. No worries. Yeah, linger away, and thanks for getting involved tonight. And don't even forget about getting you that information offline. All right. So basically, the idea, well, how it worked for me, it was a multidisciplinary sort of like approach. So it was like pain management specialist therapist, pain management specialist physio, and a pain management occupational sort of therapist. So it was like this three-pronged attack, and it was crazy just to see how much tuned in the physio who specialised in pain management was compared to the physios I'd had through rheumatology. Like, it was mad. But the whole process of that was to trying to get me hiya Pain Monkey, how's it going? Very relevant title for this conversation. Thanks for getting involved and saying hello. I hope you're well. And if any of the new people that are hanging around tonight, 'cause there is plenty of them I can see, haven't done so yet, hit the follow button. It gives you a notification when I go live and it helps the channel massively. So I stream on a Tuesday night and a Sunday night. But I will always try and do like a Wednesday or a Thursday or something where I can fit it in around work and being a dad and everything else. So if you're following, then you get that notification when I'm going live. And if you want to get even more involved, you can also get similar sort of information on our Discord server where we talk about the channel, events of it, planning things, talking about games, etc., throughout the week, whether I'm online or not. So the big thing for me with pain management was getting you into this mindset of no one's coming to fix it for you, and that's quite a shock, and I wasn't prepared for that. I must admit, when I got told I was going to pain management group therapy, I thought it was going to be a load of people sitting in a circle complaining about how painful everything was, and I didn't fancy that at all. I thought it would be a who wears the most badges competition, and it didn't appeal to me. But it was nothing like that. Essentially, it was right, you've got this condition, it's not getting fixed, it's not going away, so we've got to start working with it. And that made a huge difference to my thinking, because I think up until that point my arthritis become unmanaged in 2019, and basically I never really clawed it back. You know, I can walk and everything now, but I'm 2 stone heavier and I can't run or play sport or do all the other things I was doing. So it kind of gets you in that mind frame that there is no magic bullet, and you need to start using techniques to work with it, if that makes sense. So it gets you thinking about things like, you know, obvious things, distraction and sleep management, and keeping a diary and getting out those struggles. So like for me, it's writing as one of the things I do, all this sort of stuff. And it kind of gets you away from that waiting game, wanting a name for a condition, wanting a diagnosis, wanting somebody to come and fix it. Because let's be honest, with arthritis and a lot of similar conditions, until things go terribly wrong and you need a joint replacement or something, it is a management game. It's 99% managing it day to day. So they talk about a lot of common principles of things like managing the passengers on your bus. And what I mean by that, and I can't credit the person that come up with it many years ago, but it's a good analogy, is essentially, so for example, if you think about it in like terms of resilience, I might be having a low pain day, which means I could take on a lot of external stress or pressures or a bit of bad sleep or whatever. However, if I'm having a really high pain day and I'm not getting any sleep, then sometimes just receiving an unexpected bill in the post could be what sends my mental health down the toilet, you know. So it's talking about managing like what you control, what you can't control, letting what you can't control wash over you, tackling the stuff that you can tackle, that sort of thing. I just want to catch up on chat before I talk too much more. Cannabis used for any type of pain management in the UK. So basically, that's a very grey area. I believe there are some very small groups of people that now get access to it, but essentially it's still illegal. But what they do here in the UK is like, you don't, you know, it's more targeting the people supplying it rather than the people using it. But I'm not a user myself, so I wouldn't know. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on all the chat, guys. So yeah, there are definitely some benefits, but I think my issue is, because loads of people have suggested trying cannabis for my arthritis, I'm an asthmatic, and not being funny, I probably value my lungs as much as I do my joints, so I couldn't ever justify smoking it. or anything like that. So for me, I take enough toxic stuff and drugs for my treatment of my condition. I'd probably try and avoid taking another one, but that's just me. You know, I know there's things I could be doing better for myself, i.e. moving more and losing this weight that I put on the last 2 years and everything else. Pain Monkey, I've been reading your content. This is a special read. Is that aimed at someone in chat? Pain Monkey? Or is that aimed at me? Sorry. You'll soon come to know I'm not very good at taking compliments, so I tend to deflect those, assuming there's somebody else. But if you have, yeah, let us know which ones, which pieces you enjoyed and everything, because that helps me with. So if anyone don't know, you can find me on Medium. I'm going to put a link there to my. If you hit that social link there, the link tree, you'll find in there like articles on Medium, articles on other websites and stuff I write for. But yeah, if you cheers, Selby. Thank you. You know, I've got to get better at that. I squirm when I. Yeah, no, it's not your fault, Pain Monkey. Reading that back, it quite clearly was. I struggle with compliments. We've talked about this a lot on the channel. I'll get better at it, I promise. Thank you. But yeah, so I write for a couple of organisations, and essentially writing was what got me here. So when I was having that really bad time, but in 2019, and I'd lost all my. Oh wow! Thank you for the bits, Selby. I really appreciate that. That you are the first person to cheer bits on this channel, so you'll forever hold that title. Thank you ever so much. Really appreciate it. And for anyone who doesn't know, it's just another little way you can help support the channel. So thank you ever so much. Really appreciate it. So I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah. So writing in 2019, I had a really bad flare. It was all unmanaged, and basically I was having lots of mental health problems, and my wife was hassling me to go to doctors, and I went to doctors, and everyone seemed to be saying to me, you need to outlet it, because long story short, up until my sort of mid-30s, I just didn't tell anyone about my arthritis. You can read this, there's lots of places I've written about this in various publications, but so basically when I went to university at 18, I used it as an opportunity to reinvent myself. My arthritis was finally managed. That's happened with a lot of people with JIA, by the way. I don't know what Amy's experience is, but a lot of people will have JIA as a kid, juvenile arthritis, and then you hit sort of going into adulthood, and then all of a sudden it seems to go to remission. So mine pretty much went in remission about 17, 18, right in time for university. So I kind of used it as an opportunity to reinvent myself, and then I just buried it. You know, I was literally sleeping in the back of a van, touring in bands and things like that, and I didn't tell anyone. I'd wake up stiff as a board in the morning. I couldn't move, and I'd be popping painkillers, and people would think I had some sort of drug problem, but it wasn't. It was all my anti-inflammatories and everything else. I just hid it until I got to 2019, and the flare happened coincided with the arrival of my son, and I thought, I just don't want to hide it anymore. I don't want to be embarrassed of it in front of him, and I want him to be inspirational, etc., etc. And yeah, they and that's so I started writing it down, and I used to write a lot as a kid. All I wrote was poetry as a kid, and then writing songs and stuff like that. And found out when I was writing about something I was passionate about, like my experiences with arthritis and everything, I found out I was actually alright at it. And so yeah, and then it kind of went from there and spiraled into all of this stuff that you see today. Selby, are you in conversation with my sister? Or is it your sister? Doesn't recognise her phone. Let me see. I don't want to turn off the mobile verification, I must admit, because it does give us a line of defence against the spams and the bots and everything else. And like I say, for anyone who hasn't done that to chat, I don't know if Pain Monkey would have had to do the same thing. Once you've done it once on Twitch, you never have to do it again. But if you come into this channel, you might have been chatting on other streams, but if you come into a channel that has that phone verification turned on, you will have to do it once. Oh, thank you, Selby. I wondered what the link was. I never asked. So yeah, I think she's been on stream before, but I know it can be a bit finicky. So Amy, I came off meds. I've 2 failed attempts before, successfully before uni. Luckily, no remission of restrictions and joint damage. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, well, this thing, I couldn't hide it when I was in a wheelchair in high school and on crutches through high school, which was a horrendous experience, as I know a lot of us went through. You know, kids at that age are not exactly kind. So I think the thing is, I had such a bad experience through high school that the first window I got to bury it, I did, and I'm not proud of that, but it was my way of coping. And it kind of brought me out of my shell a lot, because I literally went from this sort of shy, angry person. Anyone that encountered me on a hockey pitch back then will know that I was angry. And yeah, and then as soon as I got to uni, this sort of like it kind of opened up, like, unlocked a door, I guess, confidence and everything. And I got creative and got into bands and all that sort of stuff, and kind of reinvented a little bit. Yeah, so exactly the same, Amy. Either in like at the start of school, they'd try and sit you on the floor, which was agony, or you had to sit on a chair at the front with the teachers, looking like the biggest sore thumb in the world, which is yeah, it's not cool. And it was the same as school trips. You know, the teachers felt the need to sit me on the front seat of the bus with them, like as if I would like somehow come to some horrible demise if I sat at the back with my mates. I was like, why do you need to? I was like paraded around as like the token disabled kid. It was horrible. But you know, I think looking back though, a lot of people, they meant well. It was come from a place of ignorance, and I guess that's why I talk about it now. You know, because if you don't, you can't educate people. Like, people can be more delicate and use a bit more empathy, but I think it's a bit like what we were talking about the other night, wasn't it, on stream, about people trying to offer a solution. They mean well, but they end up being offensive. So yeah. Yeah, it's just all them sort of memories Amy come from, and there's a couple of us in the community that I think have talked about that a lot on things like NRAS Facebook Lives and stuff like that, and it's just it's scary how similar the experiences, even though there might be a bit of an age gap. You know, well, it certainly is between you and I. You're a spring chicken, but there is you know, even though there might be like 10-15 years between those, they're all the same. So on the bus, I just wanted to be with my friends. I didn't want to be singled out. You know, I might have had to hop down the aisle with a crutch in one hand and another one under my arm, but in the boot out of the way. But yeah, I just wanted to be with my friends. I didn't want to be a special case, and I think that's the problem. I think no worries, Chunky Pup. I think the issue is people fail to distinguish between making sort of like reasonable adjustments and accommodating you, and making you a special case, if that makes sense. So there was times like the school hall issue that Amy's mentioned, where they just needed to make a reasonable adjustment. Instead of me asking me to sit on the floor, which I then couldn't get back up from, or sticking me on a seat at the front of the assembly in front of everyone, just let me sit on the end of the aisle of my class, but on a chair, you know. And it was the same as the bus. You don't need to do anything different. Once I'm seated, I'm seated. So I think that was the thing, is like there is a difference between providing reasonable adjustments and making a special case of yourself, if that makes sense, or them making a special case of you. I'm going to clip that because I definitely need that down the line. So just to throw in people's faces when they do just that. And don't feel bad, Selby, because we laugh about it now, because that's the main way you'd cope with it. But at the time, it was soul destroying. You know, it was absolutely soul destroying. What was the occupational therapy viewpoint? What did I miss? Was it something I said or something in chat? Yeah, get teachers to pull you up. Yeah, and it's embarrassing, and it's yeah, it's just not fun. But what would make me laugh is they would do all this stuff that kind of singled me out and made me stand out like a sore thumb in front of my friends, and then they wouldn't switch my English class, which would be on the second floor, and their answer to that, rather than just putting me in a different class, or maybe, you know, just moving the class. Does a teacher really need to stay in the same room? You know, can they not do one class in a different place to accommodate? But instead, the answer to that was I had to leave 10 minutes early because I had to get there on my crutches, and every single time I had to do that, cue a load of comments about me skiving off and you going around the back for a smoke and all this sort of thing. And again, it's that singling out. You have to get up in front of the entire class, hop out on your crutches without falling over or dropping your bag. And for anyone who's tried to deal with a rucksack and crutches, that's not a fun experience. They always fall down. And really, the most sensible option would have been just to put me in an English class that wasn't upstairs, or to get the teacher for one day or fortnight or whatever it was to teach in a different room. Yeah, I agree, Amy. Yeah, no, my by far, like, lots of horrible stuff happened to me. Don't get me wrong, I don't have terrible memories of high school, but whenever I think about high school, it quickly comes back to me. Things like, I used to just call in sick on sports days because I hated that whole being wheeled out on the grass to sit there all day and watch other people run and act. I love running and everything. But yeah, but the one that sticks with me the most is we used to have lots of ducks. There was a pond at our high school, and my crutch, feral or whatever it's called, slipped in duck shit, and I landed up my face, and just like literally looking up to an entire circle of laughing kids. It was like something you'd see in a cartoon or something. And it was just like, yeah, kids are assholes sometimes, but it's just their way of dealing with it, because they're either part of the crowd or them in my position. So I don't hold any individual sort of like grudge against them, because they want to fit in as much as I want to fit in. So the school bully laughs or tries to kick your crutch out from under you. They have two choices. They either you'd like to think they'd pick the morally right one, but that doesn't happen with teenagers. How do you manage like work social? Well, Pain Monkey, I'm dreading this year a little bit. I talked about it on stream on Tuesday. My diary's gone mental. So I literally spent the last 2 years doing everything behind a screen, which in some ways I don't know if I would have got to where I have with my advocacy if I couldn't have done that, because it's made me so much more accessible to people, if that makes sense. So if somebody wanted me to talk at something or be part of something or join a board of whatever, I could do that. And there's two issues going on in 2022 in my world anyway. One is that people are now starting to return to that, oh, maybe we can't do things virtually, which then excludes me from a lot of that stuff. A lot of the advisory stuff, focus groups, panels that I've been involved in, and feel like I've brought something to the table. All of a sudden they're going back to, well, really, we need you to come down to X, Y and Z location 3 times a year. And it's like, I can't, unless you're going to pay for me to stay over the night before, so I don't, because basically any travel like that, I've got one coming up in Birmingham in a couple of months' time, and I'm going to have to stay over the night before, because if I drove there, done my thing and drove back, I'd be off work on Monday. A couple of days later I would be completely rigid. So that's an issue. However, the other issue in terms of managing it is that all of a sudden the world's opened up. So like when I was banging out this message a couple of years ago, nothing really happened until like there was it blew up on Instagram. I think when people were making banana bread and taking up new hobbies, a load of people started opening Instagram accounts, a bit like mine, sharing their journey and blah blah. A lot of them are gone now, by the way. It'd have been nice if people stuck it out a little bit longer, but they were there for about 18 months, and I think like they literally all started closing down a couple of months ago, which is a shame, because some of them people I was talking to every week, and I really thought we were onto something. So I think what's happened now is all of a sudden I'm getting asked to do this, and this, and 2 years ago it wasn't an issue, because I'd be like, yeah, I can be online by 3 o'clock, I'll just need a walk in the middle of it and stretch and move, etc. Now I've got to try and get myself to all these various locations, which I definitely want to. Yeah, cheers, Selby. I had seen that, mate. I was just trying to find a point to stop, but thank you for donating to that community challenge. And basically, community challenge here, guys, pain points are completely free to use, so just a way of engaging with the channel, making it a little bit interesting. And what we're working towards there, if you click the little circle under your send message button, you can see what you can spend them on. But ideally, I'd like you to chuck it into the dedicated viewer island stream, because then what we will do, we'll have a dedicated stream where as many of you who want to get involved, and you can do that by putting your name up in Discord, joining the Discord server, and getting involved when we arrange that. Basically, we'll have an Animal Crossing stream where basically I'm going around all your islands, and you can have your 5 minutes of fame on stream, sort of thing. So yeah, back to what Sam Payne Monk. It's really, I'm torn, because there's all this stuff, these opportunities I'm now getting, which is fantastic. It feels like all the work I've put in over the last 3 or 4 years has been building to this point. But you then got the conflict in that, okay, I've got to put my body through a lot more. I've got to travel. I'm going to be in closed spaces. I'm at more risk to COVID. How do I work it around the day job and everything? And so yeah, I feel like I'm getting to a point where I have a decision to make. Should we say that? Because it's all getting rather busy now, but it's great. 2-3 years ago, I used to be involved with pharmaceutical focus groups, all that sort of thing, and you were a tick box exercise. You literally, from the minute you joined the call, you realised that you were here so that they could go to the some medical governing body or their board members or whatever and say, yeah, we involve patients. It was basically it was a little, it was sprinkling on a cake that we had no part in. Now I'm getting booked up for sort of like month-long projects on developing new drugs and treatments and devices and things obviously I can't talk about, but the fact that they're wanting patients from the start to the end of that journey just is incredible. Because when I was a kid, and I imagine Amy probably felt the same, is that you felt so far removed from the conversation. You'd sit in a waiting room with a load of pensioners, let's be honest, just how it was here in the UK. We were a bit slow on the whole paediatric rheumatology thing, and I don't know, it just felt like all the decisions that were being made for people a million miles from your situation, whether that's because of age, gender, social situation, or whatever. So to be here now in 2022 and only a couple of years into my sort of patient leadership advocacy journey, whatever you want to call it, it's just crazy. Like I was on a folks group this week. I've got another one starting next week. I'm doing more in this first quarter than I did in the whole of 2021. It's just mad. So I'm embracing it, but I have also got to find a way of living with it. And I think that's the important thing with any chronic illness that involves pain. It's a management game, so you can do things, you've just got to find a way around them. So a good example was last weekend, Easter weekend. I was terrified about that because my wife works in the NHS. She had to work the public holidays, and she and I was the whole week. I should have been looking forward to having a long weekend with my son, 4 days with my son, but I knew my body was going to be screwed at the end of it. But now I know how my condition works. I can be active and I can run around with him and lift him up and play and everything else. And that night I'm going to be in screaming agony, like unbearable screaming pain. But I will benefit the next day. It might not be the next day, it might be 2 days later, but I will benefit from it. Whereas maybe the old me a couple of years ago would lay in bed all day and didn't realise that all these people on the internet talking about have a bed day, have a rest day. It's literally, for me anyway, the worst thing I could do for my joints. So now what I do, I go out and I have my fun. There's always in the back of your mind that the pain that's going to come, but I'll go out, have my fun, and then I'll be ready for that wall of pain that's going to hit me. Thank you, Selby, by the way, as well, for being so accommodating in chat and welcoming. Really appreciate it. And if you guys are new here, we've got loads of new people pass by tonight, so welcome to everyone. Anyone want to hit the follow button so you get notifications when we're online. We're online Tuesdays and Sunday nights, but as you can see tonight, we do a couple of extras through the week as and when I can accommodate them. Diary's a bit crammed at the minute, but I will definitely try and fit extras in. But if you follow, then you know when I'm online, and it really helps the channel. So yeah, what I would say is as long as you're ready for that. So I know that evening is going to be horrendous. So I have my painkillers ready. I have my freezer packed full of ice. I make sure I haven't missed any pills in the lead up to that day, and then I ride it out. And it isn't fun. It's horrendous. I'll ride it out. Like the other night, my wife wanted to help. There's nothing she could do. I was just literally rolling around on the floor, and I'm not a shouting, screaming like you see on the movies kind of pain. I think a lot of that chronic pain as portrayed on television is just complete nonsense. I think a lot of us are very much silent sufferers, so my other half will know when I go quiet, I'm suffering. When I'm chatting away, then I'm fine, sort of thing. And then I ride that out, and then the next day I know I'll get that benefit. But it's a really hard, and this is where it loops back to what we were talking about pain management earlier. They taught me that, because your human nature is don't do that, it's going to hurt. But if you had that approach, you'd never take your biologics injections or your methotrexate injections. So it's like that. It's knowing that, okay, this is what it's going to look like, and knowing that you're going to come out the other side of it better, and riding it out. So yeah, it's an important point. And the other bit, I suppose, Pain Monkey, what you said about work, then it's a challenge. I have years where I'm in remission and everyone thinks I'm probably the model employee, and then I have other years, like the last 2 years, with cancelled appointments and treatments and drug shortages. Good example, my prescription I only got a text to say today it was ready from the pharmacy. It went in on the 6th of April, so I've gone the last week without any beta blockers, with some of my anti-inflammatories. Just mad, and you don't you can't prepare for that just happens. But so then my attendance at work will get affected, and sometimes it's accepting the times that you can't do nothing about that. So for example, if next week I have a massive flare up because of that drug shortage, what could I do about that? I got my prescription in on time, I chased the pharmacy, it didn't come through, and I paid the price because of that. And if you have a couple of days off, then they're the ones that are not worth beating yourself up about. I think the ones where you probably can, and I do more than anyone beat myself up, it's those ones where you didn't move enough, or you did too much and you tried to boom and bust it. So I think with the work, it's kind of like that whole pain management mantra of controlling what you can and trying as much as you can, and no one can do it perfectly, but trying to the best of your ability to let the stuff you can't control wash over you, if that makes sense. But yeah, thank you by the way, Pain Monkey, for getting involved so early, especially as a first time chatter. I really appreciate it, and you're really adding something to the conversation, so thank you for all the questions. Yeah, totally, they are. But what I would say, even in my advocacy work, sometimes you feel like that might not be the case. If you're contracted to deliver something by a certain day, and you have to. So, for example, everybody on here, regulars and all here, will know I got COVID in February, and then my son went into surgery in February. It was a bit of a washout. Now, I had several things I was supposed to deliver in February that I then couldn't, and some, again, especially with like some of these sort of multinational global pharmaceutical companies, they've probably got a little bit of work to do on empathy and connecting with patients. They're using patient experts now. That's not to say they probably, you'll get like, oh right, this project's starting next week, we need you to be free on this date, this date, this date, this date. And you know as well as I do with chronic pain, if you're given a list of 8 dates over the next 2 weeks, there's going to be one in that many that is going to fall at a time that you're suffering, or you've got an issue, or if you're on biologics you get an infection, or whatever it might be. So yeah, I think even not just in the workplace, even in some of these organisations I'm working with, wearing my advocacy hat, have still got a little bit to learn, that it's not our fault, I think. But like I say, the main advice I would give is like honest conversations. So for example, like I will say quite happily to my employer, I overdid it, I mismanaged it, or so a classic example for me is I'll work Monday to Friday, and if I don't move enough during the week, don't go for lunchtime walks, etc., spend far too long at this desk, I will get to the weekend and I will feel utterly broken, and the gut instinct is I'll be lazy on Sunday. And the amount of times where I've just sat in a chair all day Sunday, been lazy, and then by Monday the pain has whacked me in the face, and I'll know it's because I didn't move. And so I think that what I will tend to do is I'll honestly like say to my employer, I mismanaged it, I got it wrong, and we're human and that can happen. And then we can, and then there will be times where you just can't explain it. So like I say, if this drug shortage causes me to go off, then you can explain it. But those ones where you think, I really screwed up here, just say it, because if you've talked to them people enough, and if you've educated them enough in your situation, they will understand it, and they'll also know you're coming from a good place. I think where people fall down is, them ones that maybe aren't being fully truthful, and the stories keep changing and the context isn't given, or you're a little bit guarded. And trust me, I've been in a workplace where I've lost my job because of my health, and I fully understand why you would be guarded in that situation. So it all depends on having the right people to talk to, because if them people don't exist in your workplace, then of course you're not going to divulge some things through fear of, being an easy target or weak, or appearing weak and all this sort of thing. So I've been in that situation, so I'm happy to talk about the right way to do it, because I've very much done it the wrong way as well. But I think, when you get to that, you get that sort of relationship, then they know you're coming from a good place and that you're trying, and how difficult. And one of the ways I did that is, like, some people I work with are not very comfortable with, like, personal stuff. They might be quite task orientated, or they don't want to know about what you do outside of work. But I try to tell them, and I'm not being an oversharer. I try to tell them about what's going on outside of work, because it impacts my pain. So, for example, when my son was going through surgery and we were up all night worrying about him and he was in terrible pain and all this sort of thing, I made sure my employers knew that was coming, and I talked to about some of the horrific experiences we were having with our son at home, so that when I then inevitably a week or two later flared and had a load of pain, it wasn't a shock to them, because I was just like, you know what? I had too many passengers on my bus. I couldn't manage it all. The pain took over. And what I tend to do as well, if my mood goes, because my pain rises, it tends to be pain goes up, mood goes down. That's when I'm then likely to stop doing the things that help me. So, for example, for me, writing, the campaign and stuff, even though it is kind of like a job at times, it is a release for me. Playing music, long walks, all that sort of stuff. As soon as I'm off sick, and I still do this today, and I have to just counteract it, it's just pain management have helped me know that I'm doing it. As soon as I'm off sick, the first thought I have is, you can't do anything. You're off sick. You can't be seen to be doing anything. Come off social media. Don't play computer games. Don't you dare do this. Don't be seen out walking your dog. And it's terrible. It's such a terrible way to think, because all of these things is what keeps me healthy and gets me back into work. But a society that pushes that stuff on you, and experiences that people like myself and Amy have had as kids, presumably has had similar ones, in that so that you end up being guarded. But it's silly, because I often say this to my, again, open conversation with my boss. I will often say to them, I went off with pain and for one day, and I was off for 5 days with mental health problems. And I don't have no issue saying that, because it's true. So I'll go off for day one with a load of pain, then I'll feel really guilty about it, and I won't do anything, and I'll sit at home and I'll stew on it, and I'll feel like I'm a terrible person, I've let my team down, and I'm going to lose my job, and I'm not going to be able to pay the bills, and then my wife's going to leave me, and all these sort of spiralling thoughts that happen. And then inevitably that first night, say that's a Monday, you don't sleep. Of course you don't sleep. Who would sleep? So then day two, you've had no sleep, and you're saying to your manager, I ain't slept all night. The pain's actually not that bad, but I haven't slept all night. And then day two, I've had 2 days off now. This could turn into a long sickness. And for those of us that have been in this position, especially with like joint disease and things like that, you can easily get to like a month off work with genuine physical issues. But I'm talking here about how that pain cycle can lead to sort of low mood, depression and everything else. So on day two, you're then having all of these terrible thoughts, and you still haven't walked, and you still haven't wanted to be seen outside, and you still haven't gone online or talked to anyone, or in my case done some writing or done an Instagram post or whatever that may be. And then all of a sudden day 3, day 4, day 5, and then, but like I say, by having now that conversation with my manager, he doesn't get confused, because often I will, and again I'm guilty of this, I would advise you don't do this, and I had therapists tell me it's a really bad idea as well, in that I try to offer people timescales, and I end up shooting myself in the foot. So I will call in sick and I will say, okay, my pain's really bad, but I've got this tablet I can take, and I've got this injection, and I've got this appointment, and I should be in by tomorrow. And then the thing is, tomorrow you go through that cycle and you don't sleep, and then you're literally there pouring with anxiety sweat, thinking, I told him I'll be back today, and you ended up taking your pressure on you from here to self-imposed pressure to like there. So that's another thing I'd say is don't put a timescale on it. They don't need to know. But I think a lot of us feel like we have to offer explanations. I certainly do anyway, because I'm so used to living my life with people not understanding this thing I'm living with. You often feel like you have to give people insight. But I had like a really good therapist tell me once that you're actually setting yourself up for more of a target to fall. So that I'd recommend that, and just be honest, because it does turn from pain to depression, or it can turn from depression to pain, or it can turn from lack of sleep to pain, or load of pain to lack of sleep. So it is fluid, and don't be afraid to use that word. It is fluid, and if people have got any common sense and they value you, on the days you can function, then they'll work through it with you. If they don't, then they're not worth it. So I'll just catch up on chat while I have a drink. I'm really Pain Monkey, I'm really intrigued. I found a link on the BBC Midlands site and I found this. Do you mean you found this channel via that route? Because I'm really intrigued if you found this channel via the BBC Midlands site. Shut up, Selby, you sound like Snuffle. Really, that's mad. That's mad. That's mad. But yeah, do get involved, Payment, because your questions alone have added so much to this stream. So yeah, if anyone else has watched this, like I say, we've got loads of new viewers passing by tonight, which is great, because for anyone here for the first 15 minutes, this was supposed to be me chatting whilst playing Animal Crossing. Capture card died. I didn't want to restart the computer and therefore restart the stream. We morphed into a just chatting stream, chucked some music on in the background, and this has turned into one of our most engaged streams ever. So thank you. Oh, thank you, Amy. I'm really intrigued. He's getting. This isn't meant. Hopefully, you guys know by now. I don't have a complex. I have no confidence in anything else. So this isn't meant how it might sound. But like, it's getting weird now. So I was on a focus group yesterday, and 3 of the people on the focus group knew me, and I only knew one of them, and that was a little bit weird. I guess we're all going to operate in them same circles, but that is definitely taken a lot of. That's mad. So somebody posted one of my articles in the chat. That's mad. Can you thank that person for me, whoever they are? Because that not only means a lot, it blows my mind. So yeah, thank them for me. That's crazy. I also had my mum was walking Dylan in town, which is a different town to where I live, the other day, and someone come up and said hello, and she go, "I know you," and pointed to poor little Dylan, and it's like, I've seen you on Facebook, because I share a lot of my family, so because I think it's important to talk about your family and arthritis in the same breath. He might grow up to hate me putting him front and centre, but the idea is it's framing the situation. It's not just this guy in bed in pain like they portray it on TV. Yeah, that's mad, guys. That's mad. But yeah, get involved, Pain Monkey, because I really value your contributions tonight, and yeah. That I need you around to remind me as well when I'm out, because like as I've said on stream before, my wife will often talk about my impatience and how I'll be like, I'm not breaking through, I'm not getting the message to people I need to get to, and like I say at the start of the stream, it's why I'm on Twitch. I was sitting around one day thinking, right, I've got this certain type of people on my Facebook, I've got this certain type of people listening on Twitter, I've got this certain type of people, and when I say certain type of people, I don't mean stereotype, you know what I mean, demographic. Most of my Instagram following is 20 to 35-year-old female, whereas most of my Facebook is older female, and then Twitter tends to be where I can connect with more people in the medical industry, and people will read my articles and this sort of thing. And Twitch just felt like this area of, there's a lot of people on Twitch that aren't on doing them things on it. For example, me, when I tried to think about what I was like at 25, I'd probably sit on Twitch all day. It was YouTube then, but I'd never ever just ever engage in a Facebook group about arthritis with that mentality of thinking a load of old people. Just wouldn't. So it was a way of like saying, well, if I haven't found them there, I could find them here. And the idea is we're going to be recording, like we have done up until now, podcasts on here. We've done a couple already live on stream, but going forwards, all of my podcasts will be on here. So if you enjoy the podcast and already listen to that, you can watch it live and maybe ask the guests some questions at the end of the recording. And then again, that's the same thought. If people aren't listening to podcasts because that isn't their thing, but they use Twitch, they might find the podcast on there and find it just as beneficial. Well, you couldn't tell, Pine Monkey. You couldn't tell. And you wouldn't believe how many people have kindly gone to the effort of creating a Twitch account to follow my ramblings on here. And that again, blows my mind. And it's kind of the shot in the arm I need. Because for anyone who doesn't know what Twitch is, there's a lot behind the camera here that you don't see. There's a lot of investment in time, technology, learning you have to do. And the trouble is, most people see on Twitch the final end product, polished superstars, and some people then compare, like me, it'd be like comparing a Sunday League footballer to Cristiano Ronaldo. They might do the same thing but not at the same level. And unfortunately Twitch has like a bit of a habit of people will pass by, they don't see all the moving graphics and the shiny bits and the chat buzzing and they won't give it any time. Like, people have short attention spans this day and age, and they won't give it any time. So there was a lot went on in the last 4 months to get to where we are today, to get 10 or whatever of you chatting, to get the graphics and, all this sort of thing. And the fact I can now roll with the punches, like to switch and put the music on the background and do a just chat and stream. The Joel of 2021 wouldn't have coped with that. So I think just getting like a couple of people going to that effort, going out of their way, because let's be honest, in the modern age we live in, people need stuff put under their noses or they won't bother. So for people to go out of their way to sign up to a platform they never used or whatever and follow what we're trying to build here, just it means well. But it also tells us there's a point to this and there's a reason for doing it. So thank you, Pain Monkey, really appreciate it. And for anyone that does want to support the channel, I don't bang on about this much, and I've got moaned at offline about this that I should sell it more. We are a Twitch affiliate, therefore we can get support for the channel and reinvest that. So there are three ways you can do that. You can subscribe, so some of the people that you see with badges next to their name in chat are because they've kindly subscribed for a few pounds a month, and we get a percentage of that, which then helps us, keep this show on the road. You can cheer with bits, as Selby kindly did, the first person ever. Will forever go down in channel history for doing that, so I really appreciate it. And also we have ads on the channel. You probably got hit with one when you first logged on. I should periodically, I'm encouraged by Twitch to run them every 20 minutes. I don't, because I feel like it breaks up the conversation, but it does mean when you first join the channel you will probably get hit by ads, and then maybe some random ones occasionally. But yeah, basically everything we create here we put them back in to make it a better experience for everyone. And in time I'd like to, obviously we have the IFPA project and the Animal Crossing stuff, and then everything else I'd like to be just chatting. Like Malakath would hate that because I'm not going to be playing Elden Ring and stuff like that, but what we're doing here right now is exactly what I envisaged for the channel, but with the addition of eventually we'll have some guests coming in and coming out and everything else once. So anyone who can follow and help us build our audience, share it. Pain Monkey, that person that shared that article that led you here today, if you go on and tell somebody else that we exist here, or that article, all that sort of stuff, and a lot of people worry that I try and spread myself thin, and I do spread myself thin, I know that, but the main reason for that is that if there is someone out there in a corner somewhere who feels alone with arthritis like I did, or chronic illness and chronic pain, and wants to just know there are people out there who are trying to change that, then that's why I do it. If I can't catch people on social media, then maybe I catch them on Twitch, and if I don't catch them on Twitch, maybe they come across my words. Like if I had it my way, I'd just write all day for a living. I absolutely love writing, but I realise that's only ever going to hit some people. So and I must admit, I've definitely caught the bug for streaming, especially now I've got all you regulars coming back. That makes a huge difference to my experience, because what people don't see is there was a lot of weeks where I was talking to myself before anyone spoke in chat or even watched. So the fact that we're sitting here today with nearly double figure subscribers and people in the chat is, yes, awesome. You're gonna have to send me that link, Pain Monkey. You're gonna have to send me that link because I'm so intrigued. I almost don't believe it. But that's no offence intended. That's just my mindset. Right, what we're going to do, guys, I've been talking pretty much solidly for an hour and a half, and I wasn't intended to, so I've completely emptied my cup of tea. I'm going to, for people that aren't subscribed, I'll just run a quick ad break so you'll see some ads. For those of you that have got subs, I'll just check up a Be Right Back screen so you don't have to see me hobbling in and out of the room. And I will be back in like a minute. I'll just grab a quick drink, but I would encourage you, please keep the chat going, so then if anyone comes along, new viewer and everything else, they can see that the channel's live and kicking and buzzing, even if I've just got a quick Be Right Back screen. But I'll just grab a quick drink and then I will be back. So thanks guys for sticking with me. Thank you ever so much for keeping the chat going, guys. Really appreciate that. I'm assuming you can hear me okay. Yeah, I can see it. Cool. So yeah, cheers for keeping the chat going, because sometimes you can get a lull and you feel like you undone your hard work from all the chat that went on earlier. But let me just catch up what's going on here. How is the studying going? So Amy, are we distracting you too much? Oh, Sacred, you're around. I thought you left. I don't know why. I thought you left. How cool is this though, Sacred? I feel like only yesterday we were talking about me starting up a Twitch stream. Now we've got these people chatting. It's amazing. Blows my mind. Studying this, I know that feeling. I guarantee you'll suddenly get a rush of inspiration at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, I was a terrible example, but when I was at uni, I was brilliant when I'd done open university study afterwards at home. But when I was at uni, I'd do nothing all day, think about it all day, so I didn't really enjoy my day, and then end up doing it 2 until about 6 in the morning, and then having to wait outside the hand-in office so I could go straight back to bed afterwards. How do you find, because I like Relentless, but I do find it can make my knees sore in a really weird way. Do you find you get any sort of like negative effects from energy drinks? Maybe I imagine it, but it always does seem to be like I'll take, like, especially when I'm struggling, if I've had them nights where I've not slept, now I've got to run little into nursery and then get to work on time, I'll grab a sort of couple of cans of energy drink, but I definitely then in the afternoon ache more. But then I suppose it's always hard to tell, is it because I didn't sleep, or is it because I took stuff, or drunk stuff? See, I don't mind Red Bull. I used to drink, back in the band days, I discovered vodka and Red Bull when Red Bull first came out, and that was a very bad combination. You'll be talking like you're on acid by the end of the night. That sounds like a good justification, Amy, in my book. I think this background music's working well. We should use this more often. Like, considering I had to find it on the fly at the start of the stream and do a mad panic behind the scenes. Seems to work. Find out the channel's got taken down tomorrow because all of it wasn't royalty free. Oh, hi Malakaf, I didn't know if you were still around. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you haven't got any gameplay to watch today. I listen all the time. But your ears burning. I really appreciate everyone lurking, by the way, because we've all got our own lives and that's absolutely fine, but generally, like I said before, just saying hello in the chat or just having us on in the background while you're doing other things. There are a lot of new channels that come and go in Twitch that amount to absolutely nothing, and Twitch then doesn't give you a lot of help. But at some point you tip that balance and they realise you're not going away, and then the algorithm starts to help you out. So at the minute, I think a lot of the followers we've generated are people we've generated through hard graft outside of Twitch, by me spamming socials and linking it and this sort of thing. So at some point Twitch will start recommending us to people, I'm sure, but every follow, chat, sub helps with that. So thanks, guys. Right, guys, so if you have been lingering away and watching this and would like to get involved with the chat more, we do have a Discord server which has shot up in numbers in the last week, and there's always something going on in there now every day, which is awesome. But what I'd like to do long term is use that almost as the social media for this channel. So rather than me spamming Twitter and Facebook to audiences that maybe aren't really interested in Twitch, it would be good if that kind of becomes our chat room where we plan future events, future streams, maybe, and ideally line up guests. So there's a couple of big streamers that I'm in their Discord, and that's kind of where they sort out their guests as well. And you know, you have like a locked out audio channel to bring people in. There's one guy, see, who's hilarious. Well, literally, he plays a cricket game, but he treats the breaks in the day, so lunch and tea, as an opportunity to interview people on stream, and they're just these random viewers. And obviously you can get some. He's a comedian, so he helps. It helps when you're a comedian because you can make it entertaining. But he'll pull somebody in from his Discord and then just start asking them really awkward questions. That's like really entertaining. But on a more serious note, that's something we could do. If that Discord community grows, we could almost have a feature in the stream where we chat with the audience, and you can use that to let somebody in. Obviously, this is a long way down the road when I've got mods and all sorts. But you could then line up somebody to come in and have a chat. And yeah, I've already got my eye on you, Amy, when you're not busy to do that, to get involved with that. But yeah, that would that's what I'd like to do going forward. I think that would really work. But also it makes it a bit more interesting and gives people another reason. You'll be fine. You speak well. That gives people another reason to get involved with Discord as well. So any ideas like that, please let me know in there on whatever relevant channel. I did create a new channel on that server called Channel News. Maybe we have an ideas one. I don't know. All for any ideas on that. So yeah, it's normally at this point where I tell you about some big milestone we hit on channel views, but Twitch have hid them all. So I think we talked about it on Tuesday. So I can see live views and that sort of thing, but there used to be a sort of running total, unique viewers on your channel you could see without deep diving into reports, and that used to be really good because like when we were doing Word Day, we hit 500 viewers, and we should probably be at about 1,000 viewers by now. However, I guess sorry from the BBC. Yeah, until I've seen this link, I'm not sure I'm buying it. There's a lot of people on the internet who like to wind me up, and also my confidence won't believe it until I see it. But yeah, so there was a note went out on Twitch about a week ago saying we've got a problem with our viewer counts, and we're looking into it, but we're probably giving you the wrong viewer counts and only showing you people that are viewed on a desktop, which would make a lot of sense because I have the channel on my tablet in front of me because it helps me have a live view of what you see. So, which is why I was embarrassed in Selby that I didn't spot the black screen at the start of the stream. To be honest, this tends to be a couple of seconds behind anyway. And then, my wife will normally have it on somewhere in the house. And sometimes you'd have so you think, right, last 2 viewers, and Twitch would tell you had no viewers, and you'd be like, how does that work? And I'd have you guys talking to me in chat, and that'd say no viewers. And I'm thinking, well, I know at least 6 people are watching because they're talking in chat. So yeah, there was some note, very vague, about numbers being inaccurate. And now the viewer count I used to have, I have the live view at the top of my screen, but the run and total channel views is gone. Mysteriously been taken down. So funny that. So I imagine we've well sailed past 1,000 views, especially if the numbers we were working on were wrong in the first place. So thanks guys for being a part of that, because just a reminder, we only started streaming officially 1st of January. Obviously I've done a couple of streams to test in December and everything, and thank you Amy for contributing to the Island Stream Challenge. So if anybody's got pain points lying around in their pot, please chuck them into that. And but yeah, so what's that? 4 months. We got affiliate within a month and a bit. So to be like in 4 figures of viewers who've passed this channel at some point whilst we've been online, it's it's just crazy number, especially for what we're doing. You know, like I often joke, we're not hot tub streaming here. We're not epically brilliant at computer games, and you guys know I'm terrible at computer games by now, but I love playing them. So, you know, we're not doing the traditional thing that Twitch appeals to. We're trying to carve out a brand new niche. You know, there are people doing, you know, marginalised streams, and that's one of the reasons I'm part of this peer-to-peer network, who kindly show people on their website when I'm live. And by the way, if anyone's watching who have come via peer-to-peer, that'd be great for you to let me know, just so I can thank you and for being aware that exists. But essentially, it'll show anyone who's marginalised, whether it's for health reasons or sexuality and gender and all this sort of thing. So, and they basically promote, and it's like a network to promote, which is amazing. But you know, you'll get lots around maybe some of them other categories, but there isn't really many of us doing invisible disability or chronic illness. So hopefully we can create it. Poor old Amy, we put a lot of pressure on her. Yeah, and I need to remind myself of these things from now. Somebody said, I think it was like a therapist at some point, said I should do a list and put it on my wall. So instead of pictures of like my son, almost like pictures of achievements. So cause I'm terrible. I'm sure as well, because like when I used to play in bands, I was super confident, and that got me a long way. Like almost that cocky arrogance of like, I know what I'm good at what I do, and I'm going to make sure everybody else knows I'm good at what I do. And that did definitely get us like gigs and open them for massive bands from America and all this sort of stuff. That carries you a long way. And I do often, I'm torn, because I think my candidness and my vulnerability kind of thing in telling my story is what makes it land with people. So I don't want to lose that. But obviously when you come into the world of Twitch, there is a lot to be said for being confident, shall we say, as you will see from other streams. There is definitely a lot to be said for that. I just can't be arrogant, not with this subject. It's not something that I think, you know, my USP, if you like, is being able to describe the bigger picture of arthritis and autoimmune disease and the challenges that has, and men's mental health and all this sort of stuff. And I think if I lost that, I'd be losing what got me this far. But I do need to probably give myself less of a hard time. Don't sell me. I already got Chunky Pup offering to raffle off my bathwater, which is a slightly odd start to the stream. It's like, I'd understand it if I was like some young 20-year-old like perfect body thing. I don't think there's any yeah, if you missed that, Amy, Chunky Pup got very excited about the prospect of us diversifying the channel, and I had to Jesus Christ. See, this is where the internet encourages people to do terrible things. This is why people lose their soul on these platforms. But there will be no such raffle, there will be no such streams. Like I said on the last stream, I do intend to do some travel streams, because I've got a few bookings this year, which will mean I will be travelling around, and in some cases potentially leaving the country. So if I'm going to go a week where I can't stream, it makes sense to bring you along for that. It might be quite a lo-fi quality sort of stream, but it seems like a good idea to me, particularly where they're like the medical conferencey kind of things. Even if that's just a little 10 minutes, I'm here and this is what we're doing. And I think, you know, and I need to also get better at turning that stuff into YouTube videos. I've got a very, very neglected YouTube channel, which I've never done anything with, because to be honest, with streaming, there's a lot of effort goes into getting live, i.e. learning what to do, the tech, setting everything up. Once you've done that, within 10 minutes you can go back online whenever you like and go live. With YouTube, the editing is very long-winded, the thumbnail creation is long-winded, the uploading is long-winded, and I just, you know, it's horses for courses. Some people love YouTube. I love consuming content on YouTube, but I just didn't enjoy making videos like I enjoyed doing the live interviews and the podcast and blah blah blah. So So I do realise that I need to probably try and use some of my Twitch stuff as ready-made content to go onto YouTube. But again, let's try not to spread myself too thin and make sure that my efforts are going where they're going to actually bear fruit, I think. And my short experiment with YouTube didn't really work, so I'm happy to you know, wear the crown for the guy who does arthritis stuff on Twitch, because I don't think there's anyone else doing that. Well, if there is, I haven't heard of them. So yeah, we'll go for that. Thank you ever so much, Paid Monkey. Thank you for your contribution. Amazing your story of how you come to find us. If you haven't hit the follow button, please do, so then you'll know when I'm next online, because you'll be very welcome back again, especially your questions. Please thank that person that posted my article to bring you here in the first place. That's a hell of a journey to find our Twitch channel, but I really appreciate it, and hopefully we'll hang out soon. If you want to see any more of the work I do, writing, etc., link is all there under the link tree in chat. And yeah, thanks guys for all the love to the new visitors and everything, and carrying that when I had to go for a break. Again, this is stuff you just don't have when you start out in those first couple of months, and you can guarantee you could have had your next biggest follower come in that moment where nobody was in chat, or I had to go grab a drink, or whatever. So I really appreciate the community sort of adding so much to the channel. So yeah, looks like a Just Chatting stream is going to be a thing now, because we've somehow nearly managed to do 2 hours like this, and I think that's worked really well. I don't know about you guys. Well, presumably you're either really bored and got nothing better to do, or you're enjoying it, otherwise you wouldn't be here. So yeah, maybe that's what we do with our spare night. So Tuesday nights is the, you know, Chronic Illness Social If Per Island. That's locked in. Nothing's going to change there. Sunday nights we've been experimenting. Maybe we do the Just Chatting on a Sunday night. Melakaf cries right now because expecting Elden Ring and Joel embarrassment every single Sunday night. I might try one more Elden Ring stream, but I'm very conscious of how terrible at that game I am. Although I did manage to kill my first guy on a horse wielding a very big sword, and I was heartbroken when after 3 attempts he didn't actually drop any loot. I actually thought I might get something useful, but yeah. Elden Ring is like torture in a computer game. Sorry, Malakaf. What I'm realising is all these little things are giving me ideas for new sub emotes for the channel. Like we could have a Malakaf cries emote for all the times that I don't play the game that you want me to on stream. That's awesome, Selby. What I would say is, like, I don't know, Elden Ring's probably more entertaining, but it also is like asking to be punched in the face numerous times in a row, that game. Yeah, it's just amazing I can clear some areas now on my own, but I don't. As soon as I face a boss in that game, it absolutely destroys me. The other thing I found is I had an awful day at work yesterday, like really awful, stress-wise. I manage people as my career outside of advocacy, and that can be rough because you can have a day planned, and then if someone's got something going on in their life, you know, you end up being more of a counsellor than a manager, especially after the last 2 years. And really stressful game. And I was going to stream last night. I said to my wife, no, I'm just going to chill out on the Xbox and have some downtime. And I got half an hour into Elden Ring, and I thought to myself, I'm getting more pain in my jaw from clenching it than I was when I was in pain and stressed earlier. It's like this game is actually stressing me out. It's not fun. So I came off that and just time wasted on some random sports game, I think. Yeah, and let me know what your PC experience is like. Because I did avoid getting on PC because of the bugs. There was lots of bugs reported on it, especially in the first month maybe. So I went with the Xbox, but yeah, let me know what it's like. I suppose the thing is with the PC, you could always put a mod on and make it easier for yourself if you're that way inclined. Yeah, so that was the things I was reading. This was back in March, so they might have fixed a lot of that now, but a lot of it was around like frame rates and flickering and animation tears and stuff like that. Malakaf knows a lot more about that tech side than I do. So just a reminder, anybody who's watching and wants to support the channel, you can subscribe. Obviously, just following and saying hello in chat is always enough, genuinely. But what I would say is, yeah, if you do want to sub, there is still one little incentive for you. There's still a couple of spots left to get the founder badge. Now, Snuffle's birthday, so they had to head off, but I'd normally use Snuffle as my in-house sort of roll out my fashion catwalk sort of thing right now and show off that badge. But essentially, when a new channel gets affiliate like we are, the first 10 subscribers, not gifted subs, but the first 10 subscribers get a little first next to their name. And we still have a few of them up for grabs, so if you'd like that, then by all means grab it. And the cool thing about that is it's for life, so if your subscription lapses, you take a break for 6 months and you come back to us later and resub, that badge will reappear as well, which is pretty awesome. No, I meant more from I think game mechanics design. Malakaf, you know more about that stuff than I do, but they were the things I was hearing about that game on PC. No, I've not played Among Us because I'm not very good with like jumpy. If I'm thinking of the right game, I'm not good with jumpy games. Ever since I had a PS1 and somebody gave me the Aliens game, yeah, that I had the face hoppers that used to jump out. I'm going back a long way. We could set that up. That definitely sounds like something you should mention in Discord, guys, and we could think of something to do like that. I've never played it, but I've seen enough videos of it. If I'm thinking of the right one, that is the one with basically things are just jumping up at you on screen. It looks terrifying. And what I find is, like, I don't know, if somebody that has fluctuating pain, if I'm on the peak of my painkillers, that sort of game probably doesn't bother me. If I'm really struggling, my pain is spiking. I don't know about anyone else, maybe Amy, you might have experienced, like, you almost get like a sensory overload when you're in a lot of pain or when you've been in pain for a long time. So I describe it as like, oh, it's a murder mystery. Okay, I'm thinking of a different one then. So like when you're in a lot of pain, it's almost like I describe it as noise. So I can't walk into a room and have somebody talking to me and the TV on. I have to almost like get rid of one of them because you have like you're ultra sensitive to that. Oh, I know the one you mean, Selby. Sorry. Yeah, what was the game I was thinking of where basically you're going around in the dark and zombies or people jump out on you? I don't know why I was thinking that was Among Us, but kill time, not get caught out. Okay, yeah. I can't remember what that one's called, but maybe I had a feeling it was like a PlayStation game I was thinking of. But anyway, yeah, I've never played it, so we can give that a go. We'll sort that out on Discord. That'd be awesome. And this, I also find this reassuring as well, because like I say, when so many communities see Last of Us, yes, that might be what I was thinking of. That sounds more accurate. Yeah, sorry, Amy, that'd have been what I was thinking of. Is that like the zombie jumpy kind of game on PlayStation I'm thinking of? Oh, is it? Crossplay, cool. Yeah, that's that'd be awesome. Like I say, I was talking earlier about how like Instagram saw this big boom of like people sharing their story, and then all of a sudden lockdown finishes and everyone closes their accounts. And I must admit, I did wonder if we could do this whole community thing still in a world where people are almost going back to their real life mates. So it's really nice that we're having these thoughts of organising this sort of stuff in the current environment. Because let's be honest, most people who made it on Twitch as new people arriving to Twitch done it in 2020. You know, loads of people turned to Twitch who had never gone to Twitch before because suddenly comedians had no work, so they had to start streaming, and you know, and musicians turned to Twitch, and I just wish I had this idea 2 years earlier, because we probably would have been booming by now. Hiya Geordie, thank you ever so much for the follow earlier. I did give you a shout out at the start of the stream, and thank you for getting involved in chat. Everyone say hello to Geordie and make them feel very welcome. I really appreciate you getting involved and saying hello and following, but also letting us know where you came from, because that helps me in terms of, you know, where I focus efforts and everything. So how are you doing? How's your pain today. Cheers, guys, for saying hello. That means a lot. We're like an actual fully blown Twitch channel now, aren't we? I'm like having this realization. You know, when I was talking earlier in the stream where I said people have this image of what a Twitch stream should look like, and in the early months when you're streaming, people come along and chat isn't very busy, or there's not many people watching, and then they just pass on by because it doesn't fit that mental model of what a stream should look. But now look at us. We're welcoming new users. We're using emotes. We've got lots of people asking questions and getting this crazy. I'm still not sure if I believe the BBC thing from earlier though until I see the link. So if anyone finds that article, send it to me in Discord. Oh, that's a really good point, Selby, as well, with the badges. That's awesome. And also, guys, we can get some more VIP badges if we carry on at this rate. So essentially, you get these VIP badges, which are current holders of the VIP badges as Malakath, Renoa and Snuffle. So basically, you get, when you become affiliate, you get some VIP badges to recognise and thank those people that helped you get to affiliate. But the more people you get chatting, the more badges you unlock. And I think it's just a really nice touch for saying to people thank you for getting us to where we are. And there's obviously a couple more of you that fit into that mould, and you know, or people that have come back to us recently that have really contributed and everything that I'd like to thank that way. So yeah, if we get, I think you have to get 10 people chatting at the same time, which it sounds, trust, like 2 months ago that would have sounded impossible for us, wouldn't it? But when you look now, we've got like 1, 2, 3, 4. We're already, you know, pretty much halfway there. So once you get 10 people chatting in stream, we get more VIP badges. I can then say thank you to more of you guys, and so yeah, cheers, really appreciate it, because I cannot, all I can do is turn up and talk or turn up and stream. It's you guys that makes the channel grow, you know, it really is. Yeah, we're good, Geordie. This stream looks a bit different tonight to what we planned, but it's kind of what I needed to happen, because I've been wanting to do a Just Chatting stream for a long while, and it's that having that confidence to remove the gameplay on screen and just talk to camera. That, for anyone who hasn't done that, that's a big step. And I've done it before when I was testing the channel a couple of months ago, and nobody's watching, so there was no pressure. But tonight we were going to have Animal Crossing. The Ep.1 Island project we have, which for anyone who's new, because we've got loads of new people here tonight, what we stream on a Tuesday night, you can find more information about that project there. So head back next Tuesday at 7 o'clock to see Animal Crossing Ep.1 Island stream. So we were going to just have that on in the background whilst I talked about pain and things like that. Capture card crashes. I didn't want to have to restart my PC and end the stream, so we quickly changed to a Just Chatting stream, and now we've got this beautiful thing. So thank you for everyone getting involved, and for so many people. We've got more people watching now than when I'm playing computer games, which, if that doesn't remind me that my original goal for this channel is viable, then I don't know what will. So regular peeps in chat, remind me of that in a couple of weeks time, where, you know, it's holiday season or something and we don't have a lot of viewers, and oh, maybe this isn't going to work, and you can all tell me, you remember them streams where it all worked brilliantly. So yeah, thank you guys, because like I say, it's you guys that make that. I just seen Selby's put in Discord, Among Us community night. Definitely we'll have to get. Should I, because I've got there's an events calendar in the Discord server, and for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, we do have a Discord server where we chat throughout the week in between streams. Anyone's welcome. You don't have to be a subscriber or anything. It's open door policy. Same rules apply there as it does on stream, so, you know, be kind, etc. I've got an event section on there for events I'm doing, speak and stuff and that, but maybe we're at a point now where we can have an event, community event section, so I'll create a channel or something for that. That'd be awesome. Cheers, Selby. I don't know about that. I think people are here for you guys chatting away and the community side of it. Thank you. I will get better. I will. Alright, that's a promise. By the end of this year, I will sit here and you won't have to put those chat messages to say that, because I won't be beating myself up. That is true though. The evidence is there. I just got to, as they tell you, like with pain management, look at the evidence. So for anyone who is new here and wondering what Chronic Pain Club's about, I probably should talk about that, because people are coming and going all the time. So I run a couple of support groups. The link's there in chat. They're both on Facebook, and I appreciate Facebook isn't for everyone. One day I'll probably move them out of there, because I'm always a little bit nervous about building something on Facebook, because let's be honest, they could block you tomorrow. I did have a strike against my name once, and it terrified me because I thought I was going to lose my entire page. And that was because of a message I sent to a mate. I think the reference, he sent me like a meme or something, and I'd replied bloody Americans, and it didn't mean anything. It was literally just a turn of phrase. Next thing I know, I'm getting a warning they're going to shut my Facebook page down. I'd spent 2 years building up. So I'm really nervous after that about doing too much on these platforms, because you don't own the audience. It's the same as Twitch. We could all go tomorrow. So in an ideal world, one day I'd like to find somewhere where I could do all of this, where I didn't have to have that fear. But we run 2 Facebook groups. One's a private one, the Arthritis and Autoimmune Support Group, and that's private for a reason. It means you can put stuff in there and your family, friends on Facebook aren't going to see it. So super group of people in there, like super supportive, and there's no spam, there's no... That time I'm sure will come as it grows, but for now it kind of self-manages, a bit like you guys do in chat when we get a random spammer come in, which is just a beautiful thing to see. The Chronic Pain Club is something that I set up in conjunction with my clothing awareness brand, which is, I should probably link that, I'm trying to get better at promotion, the pain company. So that's for the public groups. You get a lot more memes in there. You do also get a lot more dodgy stuff, so I filter a lot out. Basically, I'm basically blocking about 10 spam accounts a day that try to join that group. I think anything that's got pain in the title, I'm going to get people trying to tell me about this amazing doctor that cured their herpes and all them other messages that we've all seen on social media. But again, that's very quickly turned into a really supportive place. But it's not so much about the group, it's about almost the brand, that starting that conversation that these people live in pain constantly, and there's so many more of them than you realise. The stats are huge. I think it's something like 60% of people in this country alone have at some point in their life, or will at some point in their life, live with chronic pain. And chronic pain is basically anything that doesn't go away for several weeks. And there needs to be more awareness about that. Now, the media don't help, especially in this country. I can't comment how it is elsewhere, but the media don't help because they portray pain as somebody lying in bed, rolling around, shouting a lot, and that's not what pain is. To me, and everyone's picture of this is different, but to me, pain is time taken away from my son. Pain is pressure put on my loved ones. Pain is me having to cancel my plans and miss out. That's what matters to me, not what's portrayed in the media. So, and I'm trying to clip some of this stuff as I go, because I know people have been asking me to put clips on the VOD channel. So what the idea of the Chronic Pain Club, and it is subjective, you're bang on right, Amy, and you only see that. I think my mum's pain threshold is like through the roof, and my dad's is the complete opposite. He doesn't watch this, so I don't think we'll be fine. So what the whole point of the Chronic Pain Club is that we create like a brand, like an awareness thing that makes it okay to talk about it, that makes it visible, that makes it a conversation starter, that makes it not something to be ashamed of. So what I would say, I'll have a look at all the clips at the end, Selby. I can't see them live, or if I did, it would probably detract from my attention from you guys. So I'll have a look at the end. Clips, by the way, should go live. Unless I delete them, they should go live. So feel free to clip anything you think is really informative, funny, car crash where I make a mistake, or whatever. It's fine. So that's the idea. What I would say though, by the way, guys, is I've been doing this a couple of months and we already have a copycat group out there. So we used to be called Chronic Pain Club, and then another Chronic Pain Club popped up. There's sort of a lot of dodgy replication, but anyone who's tried to take out a copyright infringement thing on Instagram or Facebook will know how impossible that is. I've got people out there that are basically using exactly the same t-shirt designs, and instead of my tagline of "in pain together," it's "in this together." Like it's so obvious that they're copying. So what I would say is, unless you see a group or a page that is adminned by Joel versus Arthritis or the Pain Company, then it ain't mine. Because unfortunately there is a lot of people out there that do that stuff, and it's depressing, and you put in all this hard work to see somebody then copy it, but there ain't a lot you can do. All you can do is be genuine and yourself. But long story short, it's trying to create that awareness of that chronic pain exists, and it's not a sign of weakness. It's not pulling a sickie. It's not rolling around in bed screaming. It's a life that you have to live with this permanent thing that gets its claws in everything, essentially. Wow, 9 o'clock already. Where has time gone? You guys make this so much quicker than it used to be. Oh, welcome to Discord, Geordie. Thank you ever so much. Really appreciate that. You followed today, your first time chat today, and you're straight in the Discord. Absolute legend. You know, and by the way, what I try to say is every stream, guys. For those of you that are just lurking away and don't want to have your name read out or have attention drawn, and you're just enjoying the conversation, that's absolutely fine. So when I'm encouraging people to get involved and get on Discord and follow and sub, you know, if that's not for you, that's absolutely fine. Just by watching, you are supporting this channel genuinely. So I really appreciate that. I really do. And you know, like I can see lots of people in chat that haven't that, you know, had to pop out and things like that, but they're still hanging around in chat or got it running on their device. So I really appreciate that. It helps us massively, and like I said before, it tells Twitch that what we're doing here is meaning something to people, and that's going to help us in the long run. Waffle on the frogs if needed. I just appreciate you covering my ad break, Selby. That was really appreciated. I normally got Snuffle here for that, so I do appreciate you picking up the mantle on that one. Right, so we'll be what are we doing Sunday night then, guys? I feel like I should ask you. We all know what Malakaf's gonna say. So Sunday night, long story short, for anyone who's new here, I was streaming Animal Crossing on Sunday night as well, but for whatever reason it doesn't have the same impact. I would really like to keep doing these Just Chatting streams personally, but maybe we can liven it up by getting somebody to come on and talk with me on Zoom or something like that. I'll see what I can do between now and then. But if you'd like me to do something differently, then let me know, or let me know on Discord if you've got any suggestions. I'd really appreciate that. Amy, not a problem, and I'm really sorry if we have distracted you from your studying tonight. Thank you so much for getting involved. I know how busy you are at the minute. I genuinely can't thank you enough for how much you've contributed to this channel ever since you sort of first got involved. I think it was on Word Day. This is really testing my memory, and you're going to tell me I've got it mixed up with the wrong person. But ever since you sort of got involved on Word Day, and you've just helped this thing snowball along with all the other people that keep coming back. So thank you for all the questions. Thank you for all the contributions. Thank you for welcoming the new people. Thank you for getting involved on Discord. I really appreciate you taking on Discord and getting involved. So yeah, thank you. The fact I can remember it, Amy, tells you the impact you've had as part of this community. So I really appreciate it. I hope the study goes well. I hope the essay submit. You have to let us know what result you get. If it's a good one, you don't need to tell us if it's not. Of course it'll be a good one. Enjoy the rest of your evening. So yeah, I think what we'll do, guys, is on Sunday we'll probably try this again. It seems, you know, we can have Animal Crossing in the background if people want. But I think by me being, because my original plan for this channel was by me being like I am in my writing. Anyone who's read my writing, sort of trying to fit in a bit of a term than balls out. So heart on the sleeve, candid. You know, I think if I do what I do in my writing on stream, I just feel like it's going to get people to open up. Maybe that's overconfident and wrong. So I think by me being full camera and no distractions of the game stuff, I think it's no coincidence that we get more people asking questions about pain and asking questions about arthritis, and I think it lends itself to that. Thank you very so much, Amy. Appreciate it. So has anyone got any more questions or anything they want me to talk about before we look to wind this down? I've still got a bit of more time if people need it, but I think we've covered a hell of a lot tonight. Yeah, to be honest, and let's be honest, on Tuesday night, Animal Crossing kind of got neglected the last hour, so maybe if we focus on Animal Crossing on our usual Tuesday night stream, keep the Just Chatting stream separate, then maybe both get the attention they deserve. But like I said to you guys before on those Tuesday night streams, it's not just about the island and the Animal Crossing stream, it's about building the community, which we're now seeing today, you know. So people expect to see games on Twitch, and if per Island and Animal Crossing is a gateway into that, but the bit that's really, really important is creating that community and creating that audience so that we can talk about things like psoriatic disease, and raise awareness. And there's two sides to that coin. There's the raising awareness. People pop along because they want to see a stream and have it on chilled out in the background and learn something that they didn't know. But more importantly, or equally as importantly, depending on which side of the fence you are, it's providing that place so people know they're not alone. So we had several new people jump in the chat tonight. If you guys take anything away, Geordie found us via Instagram, so I'm presuming there's a chronic illness link there, and Pain Monkey was on earlier. He sort of said similar sort of thing. Excuse me, I've been talking for 2 hours. We if we can create that space for people to ask questions and have those conversations, and go home that night thinking, oh, it's not just me, or somebody else understands, or I could try that, or I didn't know pain management was a thing. All that sort of stuff. Then that's really what we're trying to do here. That really is. So yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll go all in on the Just Chat streams, and maybe we'll try that on Sunday, and then we keep Animal Crossing for on Tuesday nights for the If Per Island project. So last call for any questions, guys, or any comments, or anything you want me to talk about, because my throat is starting to go now. You think when we play Animal Crossing or games, there's bits where I'm not talking, so it's a good solid 2 hours talking. I also had 6 meetings today, so my voice has done a lot of work. No, 7 meetings today. It's crazy. How's anyone supposed to get any work if you're in meetings all day? You sit in meetings all day. So I got distracted myself. That's a very good point. I'll talk about that in a minute. You sit in meetings all day, you come away with a load of actions, and then you've got no more time in the day left to actually do what you went in with before you started the meetings. So how do you ever take? Well, we're working on that. Initially, I used to stream, and then me and my wife would get takeaway afterwards. Then when we realised things were starting to happen on the channel and I needed to stream more, we realised that's not an option, because sometimes we weren't eating until 10 o'clock at night, and that's not healthy for either of us. So now I have on the days I stream, I work 8 till 4. Then I do an hour where I do my advocacy stuff. So tonight I had a meeting I had to go to, and then 5 till half 6 is time with family, have my dinner, see Dylan to bed, and then I'm on here. So I hope people appreciate it. I'm not getting the violin out. It's just I think in order to make an impact, you've got to make sacrifices. And so yeah, my streaming days are long because my son woke me up at 5:30 this morning, so I had to kill 2 hours before I could even get him to nursery, because nursery doesn't open until 7:30. Got him to nursery at 7:30. Got back here, logged on for work at 7:45. Worked right through, advocacy style non-work meeting 4 till 4:30, bit of admin at 5, and then yeah, thanks Selby. But I think that's the so when I apologise to you guys for saying I didn't get that out on time, or I didn't get that podcast out on time, it is just, like I say, there's a lot to fit in, but if you believe in something enough, you're willing to sacrifice it, and it's like any profession, and you don't get anywhere if you don't put the hours in. That's the way I see it. Right, guys, I think I will wrap it up there. Should we try? Have we got anyone to raid? Like I say, I'm trying to find people I trust to send you to, because I don't want to send people to places that I don't know. I don't know and trust, if that makes sense. So I don't know who's online. No, all the people that are online who I know and trust are streaming Football Manager. I don't think anyone needs to see that. What we could do. Hang on a second, guys. I'll just see what I can pull up. Because now we're getting some followers, I do feel like I should start helping other streams out. That feels like a good idea. So yeah, I'm going to send you over, provided I don't break it, to Malice, who's playing The Sims, if that's alright. When you go over, guys, can you do me a favour and tell people where you come from? Just say you're raiding from Joel vs Arthritis, say hello, stick around for a couple of minutes to help that streamer, because that'll hopefully one day someone will return the favour to us. Like, we've not been raided yet, but hopefully if we start doing it and helping other streamers out, they will do it in return. So what I would ask is, yeah, if you could just, when you go over, say hello, say where you're from, and help her chat out, and then hopefully they return the favour one day. Alright, so thanks for everyone's help tonight. Thank you for all the chat. Really appreciate it. Thanks for everyone who's helping this grow. And the fact that we're in a position where we can go raid with people now is just amazing. So thank you and enjoy the rest of your evening.